Qapla World, it's Birdo Prey 5. And, yeah, no introduction, no opening credits, no fanfare today. I could, I thought somebody else would be streaming, but nobody was ready to stream after Anti-Trekker. So, wow, I'm seeing all of these streams from earlier today are now coming in on my tablet. 47 Yorktown was first. Qapla 47 Yorktown. Cinnabunny Bunny was number 2. We're not off. We're not off to a great start. Continuum Track says, hey Burton, what's the word? Trek 95 says, hey there, Michael. Mike Richards says, greetings from Columbus, Ohio. Aberjam says, McClunky. I am sorry, guys. So, I had hoped to stream. Then, about an hour ago, I said, F it, I'm not going to be able to stream. Thinking for sure, one of the up-and-coming streamers, like DJ, or Cinnabon, or Life with Matthew, or Sci-Fi Nation, or somebody would want to stream it. It's a prime time. Yeah, Anti-Trekker had 140-something people at one point in his chat. But apparently nobody else could stream now but me. So I have taken up the reins, and I am streaming, and we're gonna do some more Picard talk, because I'm not done. I am not done talking about Picard. Red Alert, hail! Was the episode good, bad, or meh? Red Alert, I thought the episode was very good. I'm giving it an 8.5 out of 10. The full review is about 3/4 done. It's going to come out tonight. Now, I'd hoped to get it out before I streamed, but it took longer than I hoped. Quite a good episode. That said, I have concerns that the future episodes will not be good. Because one of the reasons I think this first episode was so good was because it's almost exclusively Patrick Stewart in the show. Patrick Stewart is a supreme, top-of-the-line, A-list actor. He commands respect, whatever he's in. Whatever you think of the man, he is a great actor. He's a consummate actor. And I don't know what it means. But once I'm pretty sure it means what I think it means. But once we get into later episodes and he has to share the screen with all these frankly unknown actors and actresses who will be co-starring with him, and we literally see screenshots of in later episodes when he's on the ship. He doesn't even sit in the center of the ship or sit near the pilot. He is off to the side, barely in the frame of the camera. And once he takes a back seat to the younger crowd, that's where I think the show will start to falter. But we'll see. I was very happy. I was surprised. I was happy. I tell people that if Star Trek Picard was good, I'd be the first person to talk about it. And I was second because I was a little late. I got up at 3:20 a.m. instead of 3 a.m. So I was a little behind in watching it. But as soon as I finished, I got on YouTube and I started singing its praises. I said it in Anti-Trekker stream. I did my own stream. I was in Sci-Fi Nation stream. I was in Life with Matthew's stream. I went to Doomcock's stream, and I posted, I couldn't, obviously Doomcock doesn't let guests on his stream, but masterful, yes, that's what I meant. So, in Doomcock's stream, I just put an @ I did @ Overlord DVD, and I put in the reasons why I like Picard, but then I had to get back to doing my review, so I didn't get to listen to see if he ever got to it, so I'll have to listen to that at a later time. And then, of course, Anti-Trekker streamed, and then I was in there saying that I liked it. And now I'm here again on my channel streaming for you guys, again saying I liked it. No, all is not forgiven with CBS, Red Alert. Discovery is terrible, and the short tracks are even worse. They did one good episode of Picard. We will see what happens. It's going to take a lot more than one good episode of Picard to make things right with CBS. Frankly, even if the entire season is excellent, if they're still going to play season 3 of Discovery, and Discovery, makes things worse as the first 2 seasons of it have, then, no, things are not going to be well. They've got one good episode of a Star Trek series. They have a lot more to do before we'd even talk about forgiving CBS. Frankly, I don't know that they can be forgiven as long as the people in charge remain in charge. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. It's not out of the realm of possibility. I'm not dismissing it out of hand, but I would find it. I would be surprised. Captain Katz's Bird of Prey. I'm waiting on that non-binary character to appear. Well, it could happen. Red Alert says, do I have to worry about a divide in the fandom? That's what I fear most. Well, Red Alert, I think we've already been divided. I mean, it's just, there are certainly people who like Discovery. Not a lot, I don't think, but there's some. And they've been out there. Now, I don't think, yes, we've been divided, but I don't think it as an end of the world divide. I would imagine the divide over Picard is going to be bigger, because I already see today that there's quite a few people who like Picard, and there's quite a few people who really dislike Picard. Now, I understand, and believe me, I get it. I don't think the people who are saying they hate Picard are making it up. I don't think they're saying it because, they have some economic incentive to hate Picard because it's good for their channel or their numbers. No, I know Doomcock is sincere when he says that this is terrible to him, because he gave his reasons. And you know what? I hadn't even thought of those reasons. And I'm thinking now that Doomcock said, the one major reason is well, why didn't they just beam the main girl that they wanted up to them instead of beaming down to her and getting their asses kicked? It makes total sense. Just beam her right into a brig. Okay? Beam her into a brig. And if they needed to kill her, just beam her into space. It would have solved all the problems, right? If you can beam freely around San Francisco without Starfleet interfering, then you can and they beamed one of themselves up. One of the guys fell off the stairs and they beamed him up to the ship rather than let him stay behind. So they beam up people. It's not that they can't beam people up. They can beam people up. So just beam her up. Beam her up completely. It would have negated 90% of the show, but it makes total sense. So I can understand that if I had thought of that, I would be really pissed and I would be angry and I probably wouldn't be able to enjoy the show. So I understand, and I'm not going to go and tell anybody, hey, you need to like the show, because they're not going to. And I would be insulted if somebody came to me and said that I am, not thinking, or I'm stupid or whatever because I liked or I disliked the show. It's my call to make. If you disagree, that's fine. What I do though is I kind of pity the people who are hating on. Sounds like they're doing it. Sounds like they're doing it for publicity. So I'm not going to use hating on, but I pity the people who actually hated this episode because they did not get a good episode of Star Trek, where I did. I got a good episode of Star Trek. Mama Prey got a very good episode of Star Trek. We both really enjoyed the episode. And it's the first time, and I say this in my upcoming review, and Sassy's being fed, so I apologize. But it's the first time in 15 plus years that there's a Star Trek episode, an episode 2 of Star Trek that I'm looking forward to. Right? It hasn't been since Enterprise's episode 2 that I've been looking forward to a Star Trek episode 2. Star Trek Discovery, wasn't looking forward to the second episode. And short tracks, even though CBS wants to count them as a separate series, I certainly wasn't looking forward to that after Runaway, which I will again remind everybody, Runaway, the very first short track, was easily, in my opinion, the very worst piece of scripted entertainment ever created. It is total and complete garbage. And one of the worst parts of this episode for me was the fact that they doubled down on Discovery canon by having one of the aliens, in fact, the boyfriend of Daj, is a Zean, a Zahayan, however you pronounce it, Zahayan, and he's the same species as the queen girl from Runaway, which makes no sense because that queen says that she was a twin with her planet, that all Zahiyans were twins with their planet. So how do Zahiyans leave the planet? It doesn't make any sense. The entire premise of Runaway is garbage from start to finish. I did not want to be reminded Zahiyans even exist because it is so absurd. It makes no sense. So the fact that they would bring a Zahiyan into Picard, that upset me. That upset me more than almost anything else. The only plus point was that he was killed. He was killed within a minute or two of coming on the screen. I still would have preferred he never existed. That said, the rest of the episode, I dug it. I enjoyed it. It made things interesting. And yes, Old Worf is still canon in this show. They did a brief scene where they, as part of the FNN interview, they did screenshots like from previous Next Generation episodes so they could show the rest of his crew. And there was Worf looking like he did in TNG with the yellow uniform and looking all Worfish. Clearly not Kling-Orc. Clearly had 2 nostrils, not 4. And didn't have that crazy Kling-Orc makeup on. So I am happy that in some way they have canonized in Picard that Worf should still look like Worf, even if Worf is never on Picard. However, I still wouldn't put it past them that if they have Klingons on, the Klingons look more like the Kling-Orcs in Discovery. Until they have a Klingon on the show, I'm not going to be comfortable to the fact that they have abandoned the Kling-Orc design. In fact, I'd bet they would even claim that they haven't. But we'll see. Time will tell. Captain Cat says, Continuum Track, I look forward to your videos more than I do Bird of Prey 5. What a dick. But you know what? Continuum Track puts out good stuff. Continuum Track puts out good stuff. Track 95 Continuum Track. I'm looking forward to your review. That's very nice. That's very nice. So I'm going back up in the chat, which I missed a lot. Track 95 says, hey there. I think I read that. Cinnabon says, wow, am I that forgettable? No, Cinnabon, you weren't the one streaming. You were on with me. Yes. And you see, Anti-Trekker forgot you. I didn't. It was Life with Matthew. It was Anti-Trekker. It was me. It was you. And yeah, 5 people. That was it. Not Ryan Johnson with a $5 super chat. Thank you so much, Not Ryan Johnson. Hello and Qapla. I think Anti-Trekker is jealous of your Klingon skills. I don't see him challenging anyone to any Star Trek shows, but you almost conquered Kirk. Yes, well, almost. If not for that illegal nerve pinch, Vulcan nerve pinch, I would have been in charge of the Enterprise. I would have brought the Enterprise home as a trophy for the Klingon Empire. Yosef is writing to you with an Eastern European accent. Yes, and Yosef was also on the stream. It was so great to hear Yosef's voice for the first time. And hear Yosef interact with us on a stream for the first time. That was very cool today, Yosef. Wesley says, Bird of Prey, don't listen to the trolling. You are the funniest person on YouTube. And Trek 95 says, shut up, Wesley. I don't know about the funniest person on YouTube, but I try. Red Alert says, hail, was the episode good, bad, or meh? I answered very good. Very good. Thomas says, Bird of Prey lies. Continuum Track, subscribe to Cinnabon Bunny, very cool. Aberjam says, your voice sounds rough, Bird. Have you been snogging? No. The voice is rough because, to be honest, there was 3 conversations going on here. I was trying to talk loud to talk over it at the time. I also am just flustered because I've been either streaming since 3:20 this morning. I've either been streaming or been working on videos, or in many cases, both. And Yosef cooked dinner throughout the entire stream. Wesley says, Bird of Prey, don't try. You are funny when you don't try to be funny. Just yell son of a bitch when you crash. I get it. Yeah, funny when you don't try to be funny. That means I'm a clown. Cinnabon liked it. Very cool. Addy in stereo. Qapla, Addy in stereo. If you're still here. My old friend Addy, who I never get to talk to anymore because I'm a busy, big-time YouTuber, and I ignore half of his messages. I'm sorry, Addy. Today was a very, very busy day for me. In fact, I haven't even had Skype open all day, and I know people have been trying to get a hold of me on Skype, but on my phone makes funny Skype sounds, but I haven't looked. I'm not even going to look at Skype today. Kronos says first, Bird of Prey, Qapla. Well, Kronos, if you want to be first, that's fine. Trek 95 says, Cinnabunny, I'm doing good. Red Alert says, oh, Continuum Track says you loved it and you know it. I did. 8.5 out of 10 is a pretty damn good score. Red Alert says, does anyone who dislike it are bad people? I don't want a civil war in our community. I don't think there's going to be a civil war. Because there are people who don't like it, and I'm open to listening to them, and they're opening to listening to me. We don't have to agree. That's the thing. We don't all have to agree. I mean, it's nice when we do, right? It's nice if we could all say, so-and-so was a great episode of Star Trek. But here's the thing. We can't even agree, and we never will agree on what was the best Star Trek series, right? If you get 4 Trekkies in a room, they're all going to have a different favorite Star Trek series. who's going to like TNG, who's going to like TOS, who's going to like DS9, and God help me, who's going to like Voyager. But you will find those people out there. Hell, you will find people who like Enterprise, and you will find people who even like Discovery, because I don't know, but they do. They're out there. They exist. They're real people. You can't deny that they're real people. It happens. People have different opinions. We were never a homogenous group. Okay, we would never all say, yes, we all love Captain Picard, or Captain Kirk, I should say. Even in 1969, right? When Star Trek was on the air, when Star Trek was on the air at the end of the 60s. Okay, even then, even when there was only one crew, there was still a big debate in Trek fandom over whether Spock was the more popular character than Kirk. Okay? You had whole legions of people that preferred Spock over Kirk. And so even then, you couldn't say, that every Trekkie felt the same. No, there were Trekkies who thought Spock was the best. There were Trekkies who thought Kirk was the best. I'm sure there were Trekkies who thought Sulu was the best, and Uhura was the best, and Scotty was the best. But there were significant numbers of people that were, the Kirk Spock thing actually kind of got personal. It kind of became a thing where, each was trying to vie to be the so-called main character. And it wasn't 100% sure, especially going into the movies. There were people who preferred Spock. And then you add TNG, and it's like, holy shit, now we're fighting TOS versus TNG, not even Kirk versus Spock, but Kirk versus Picard versus Data versus Spock versus Riker versus, whatever. And then McCoy versus Beverly, but is that really a competition? No. And Troy versus, I don't know, a Jeffries tube, I guess. I prefer the Jeffries tube. It's more useful. Huh? Don't. Oh, Mama Pray as I don't forget the Cold War in the 60s. Chekhov. Chekhov was not a popular guy. Chekhov was not a popular guy unless you were a communist. Unless you were Alexander. Then Chekhov was the best guy on the Enterprise. Captain Katz as Patrick Stewart is something. He is. I mean, listen, I never thought Picard was my favorite captain. Okay, Kirk was my favorite captain, and then Sisko became my favorite captain. And now when I look back, it's really close between Kirk and Sisko. It was never Picard. But Patrick Stewart has such a screen presence, it is almost impossible for him to make a shitty movie or a shitty show. Now, granted, I haven't seen the Charlie's Angels that he's in, but I'd venture to say that his part isn't terrible. Probably just the rest of the movie. Cinnabon says you were third, I was first, Berto Prey. You were first what? Chief Cook says, hi guys, welcome, Chief Cook. Continuum Track says Captain Cat is stalking him. Aberjam says, anyone notice that other than Picard himself, all the prominent roles were women? Well, Laris and Zhaban. I mean, Zhaban was the one who talked to the Federation News Network. I would say Laris and Zhaban were pretty much equals. Although, sure, Laris got a few more lines. Those were the Romulans. Obviously, the daughter who knows every Data's, Daj, she was the main character. And the woman from the Cybernetics Institute. But all the Romulan assassins all seem to be men. And okay, so the The news reporter was a woman, but there were quite a few males on the staff behind her. And okay, it was a woman hologram who was helping Picard around the archives. Yeah, I would say there's a slight bias there to giving parts to women, but to be quite frank, it's not something that bothers me, especially looking at the cyberneticist, because I quite enjoy looking at the cyberneticist. She's a highlight of the show for me, and Daj, for that point, and her sister will also be highlights of the show. So I don't mind that, but yes. So technically, more other than Picard, there are more women in the show with speaking parts. But other than Picard, Picard is by far Picard is 90% of the screen time. So that's like saying other than North and South America, have you realized how little land is in North and South America? Just islands. I mean, it just doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. It's like you want there to be a problem. There might be a problem. Later on, it might be a problem that it's all women, although most of the characters, I believe, are men coming up, but it's not a problem yet. I wouldn't even be looking for it yet. Red Alert says Dictor is fine with you if you like it. Yes, he is, and I'm fine with people who don't like it. I mean, that's just good business. That's good sense. That's being a good person. People are allowed to have differing opinions. Far be it from me to tell somebody they shouldn't have an opinion. Captain Cat says, Bird of Prey, I'm waiting on... Right, non-binary character. I read these. Continuum Tracks says, Captain Cat, Dodge was binary. There was 2 of them. There you go. Yosef says, 7 minutes late due to a shower. Now I'm squeaky clean. So we should play the bridge game, Yosef, so you hear some squeaks. Piano Dean says, hey Bird, Qapla, Piano Dean. Piano Dean, you and Aberjam, goddamn amazing on that Cheers cover. Even though you talk about Kuroga going up in flames, I was blown away by that quality. You and Aberjam really should be proud of yourselves. Red Alert doesn't want any more division. Well, then just do it multiplication by a fraction. It's the same as division. Right? If you don't want to divide by 2, you just multiply by 0.5. It's the same thing. Wesley Crusher says, Bird of Prey. Wait, is that not what you mean? Wesley Crusher says, Bird of Prey, greetings, birds, turds, and hail Kuroga. Hail Kuroga. Aberjam says, Bird of Prey, thank you for putting a TV in front of my cell door so I could watch the show. It helped me take my mind off the shackles. Aberjam, as much as I want to take credit for that, that was not Kuroga. You're not in a Kurogan prison. Trek 95 says, Bird of Prey, do you think one who hates Picard had certain expectations? We all had expectations. It's ridiculous to claim nobody had any expectations. Some people had higher expectations than others, though to be completely honest, my expectations were low. My expectations were incredibly low, and I suspect that is why I think it was so good, because I honestly was not expecting it to be good. Discovery, I was expecting to be good, because I was naive. And I was like, oh, yes, they're launching a whole new channel. They're going to be putting so much money, and they're going to have the best people on Discovery. And yes, CBS All Access is going to be the home of Star Trek, and it's going to be freaking amazing. Les Munez is a genius. This was going to be great. And then we saw Star Trek Discovery, and it was like, no, why? Why do you hate us? Why do you hate us? So, yes, I had low expectations, and I'm sure some people had high expectations, and I would hope this show was, the first episode anyway. I hope it lived up to most people's expectations. But to say, yeah, everybody has expectations. Red Alert understands. Not Ryan Johnson, says Bird of Prey. I was watching Robert Meyer Burnett's live stream earlier, and he played a video from Waspinator. I nearly spit out my coffee. Holy shit. Holy shit. Waspinator must be over the moon. I'm actually still subscribed to Waspinator. And I saw he put out a video this morning on Picard, but I did not get a chance to look at it because I was way too busy with other stuff. Waspinator's been doing a lot of stuff with Legos lately. Surprise, surprise. But to be completely more honest, although I'm subscribed to Waspinator and rarely watch, I am not subscribed to Robert Meyer Burnett, and I don't even know that I assume he must have a channel of his own, but if he does, I've never seen it. Red Alert's gotta go finish homework, have a nice dream, Bird of Prey, take care, Red Alert, Qapla. It's not they have anything against Robert Meyer Burnett, to be clear. I've just never had the opportunity to look for his channel or subscribe to him. I had no real, I didn't say anybody. Nobody said, hey, check out that really good Robert Meyer Burnett video and sent me a link. So it just never happened. I know the only reason I know this guy exists is because of Midnight's Edge After Dark and his stream with Anti-Trekker. And I think he's got something to do with Star Trek or had something to do with Star Trek back in the day, but that's about all I know. Mr. Trent, welcome, Mr. Trent 100. They did say she had a jammer for security. No reach that it prevents oh, that's true. Okay. That's fair enough. That prevents transport a lot. That helps. To be honest, I did not hear. Sassy girl, please. Oh, Sassy. Well, who's out there, baby? Is there somebody out there? Mama Prey just went out to get some air. There's nobody out there, Sassy. Sassy is mad because Mama Prey went out front because it's pitch black here. It's too dark to take Sassy out on the side of the house with her. But if we can find that Robert Meyer Burnett clip and play it for Anti-Trekker, that would be hilarious. Waspinator and Robert Meyer Burnett, that would be hilarious. Captain Cat is asking Continuum Track if he's doing a video of Picard. Mr. Trent, yeah, the jammer. I did not hear she had a jammer on her, but if they did say that, it would explain a lot. Red Alert says, thanks for keeping it civil. Red Alert, you don't have to thank me. I mean, we don't attack each other here unless things have gone really south. Continuum Tracks is Captain Cat. I dropped a Picard Day video yesterday, and I'll be doing a video review tomorrow. Cool. Captain Cat says, Bird of Prey, there's obviously some problem with the story, but it's nowhere near as bad as any of the STD. That is absolutely true. There are problems, there are issues, especially I've rewatched it now about 5 times, and with each rewatch, something else comes out that just doesn't make sense. On the last one, I was like, wow, wasn't it extremely convenient that Daj left her necklace? That was a beloved necklace that her dad made for her. Even though Picard gave it back to her, she somehow forgot to put it back on and then left it outside on the table with on the table, abandoned, even as she went in to go inside to sleep. And when she left the house early in the morning, she did not take that necklace. Because had she taken that necklace, Picard would not have had it to show to the cyberneticist at the Daystrom Institute, and the cyberneticist would never have taken Picard seriously without that necklace. So it was an extremely convenient plot reason that, and she said it was my dad made it for her. And I got the impression her dad was since dead. So why the hell would she be leaving her dad, a prized heirloom from her dad on a stranger's table? It really makes no sense. I mean, it was beyond incredibly convenient. Further, when Daj first comes to Picard at the vineyard, and she tells Picard, I killed 3 people and they killed my boyfriend. There's 4 dead people in an apartment. What does Picard do? I know if a woman came to me for help and says I was attacked and I killed 3 of my attackers and my boyfriend is laying dead in my apartment, I'd say, well, we got to call the police. You can stay here till the police come and whatnot. You can stay here. I'll protect you. But we got to call the police and report this. Picard doesn't report it. Picard doesn't call anybody. Maybe there are no police. Maybe Earth has gotten to the point that they don't even bother having police anymore. I don't know how you explain that. I mean, you would think there has to be some type of security that you would report crimes to. Unless crime is literally gone. That bothered me. It didn't bother me the first time or the second time. But the third or fourth time, I was like, yeah, why isn't Picard taking this girl to the police? It made no sense. He says, yeah, come on in, stay the night. And Picard ignores it. Picard ignores 4 murders. Picard ignores 4 murders. At least one of a completely innocent person. That bothers me. It bothers me that there was graffiti on the garage in Paris. It bothers me that there was graffiti. There shouldn't have been graffiti in Paris. Wesley says, Mr. Trent, you are right. A picture of Worf counts as canon now. Indeed. Lore Reloaded is in the house. Oh, Lore, I don't even know if you're still here because I'm so far behind. Lore says Zahians are the best Hians. Zahayans are the, I don't even know if it's Zahayan. Zahayans are the best Hians. Actually, it's Zeheans, I believe, because I looked it up for my review, which is still in the works. Xeheans is Zahayan, but it's pronounced Z. Zahans. Thank you, Lore Reloaded, for coming by. I was at Lore Reloaded stream this morning too. He was also streaming. It's been a busy day. Everybody who talks about Star Trek is streaming today. Wesley says Old Worf is still canon in the show. Absolutely. Trek 95 says Lore Reloaded. Haha, is there any other kind? And then we had Not Ryan Johnson super chat. Captain Cat says, I got what? Yeah, well, that's what you get. That's what you get. Yeah, I read those. Hector says, Hola, what did I miss? We're just talking some Picard. Mr. Trent says, I wonder if the last episode is revealed when Lore is behind everything. I don't think Lore is going to be involved. To be completely honest, I was shocked that Bruce Maddox was brought up. Because, and when they release the list of must-see Next Generation episodes to watch before Picard, Measure of a Man was not in the list. And if it was added to the list later, maybe, but it was not in the initial list. And I looked for it because I thought, wouldn't that be a great, because we already knew there were an army of what looked like, data prototypes in there. So I was surprised that Measure of a Man was not listed in the must-see, episodes. And now we find that Bruce Maddox, who's the guy who tried to take Picard in Measure of a Man, he's like one of the main guys. Now, Anti-Trekker thinks he's going to be a villain, or I think Anti-Trekker said he thinks he's going to be the main bad guy. I don't think he is. I think he's going to be a good guy. But regardless, it seems like he's going to have a big role to play in this. And even if it's not, even if he doesn't play it in person, even if it's just by reputation, and they did not say to watch Measure of a Man, and they also didn't say watch Descent Parts 1 and 2, which would have dealt with lore. Yosef says vegetable soup and tuna with spinach. T-Berg says, hello, Bird. I like Picard. It's worth more. Let's recover Data and let Picard sigh in peace. If we could recover Data, he would have been recovered already, but Data was basically vaporized. Number one sci-fi. Qapla says, dodge this. Welcome. Cinnabon says, well, I think you'll have to wait to see if there will be a civil war until Anti-Trekker is on Nerdrotic tomorrow. Indeed, Tim Christ says, greetings, Qapla, Tim Christ. I am sorry I'm so far behind. I'm, 20 minutes behind in the chat. Some of you guys probably left already. Trek 95 says, you left out the animated series. Yes, I did. Because I don't watch it. Captain Cat says, yeah, I remember TNG fans hating TOS. Yeah, they did. There was no love. Yosef says, Patrick Stewart is an excellent actor. The emotions in the interview scene look so genuine. Tim Christ says, Bird of Prey, so I have a question. How do you find space cancer on a bird of prey when the whole ship looks rusty already? Yes, the episode where Riker becomes first officer of the Klingon ship, and that alien guy with the breathing apparatus doesn't tell anybody that there's this big hole, bacteria eating holes of the Klingon ship. And then how does it even come across to the Enterprise? It's not like the Enterprise rubbed up against the Klingon ship. But I don't know. I really don't know. That was a weird one. Yeah, and the ship looks rusty, I guess, with the sensors. Maybe that's why they didn't notice it until it was already 6 feet across? I mean, some ungodly size. Like, you would think a pinhole would be noticed because of the pressure change. But they didn't know until it was already, big enough for somebody to fall through. Actor says, did I miss review or he hasn't started yet? Well, Actor, I'm putting out a full review hopefully later tonight. This is more just a talk about Picard. Captain Cat says he hasn't started yet. Tim says, I think he's rambling. Yeah, he's 2 words in, Actor, says Aberjam. Rambling, yes. But no, the actual review is going to be a standalone video, not a live stream. Yozis is Actor, he did one 20 hours ago, now is the second one. Cinnabon says, come on, he doesn't get to the topic till 2 hours in. Well, this isn't going to be a 2-hour stream. I'm telling you that now. Surf says, I'm still traumatized by STD, fearing Picard will go south, even though it looks to be compelling. Well, I'm fearing it's going to go south too, for the main reason I said is that it's good when we have Patrick Stewart, but what is going to happen when Patrick Stewart becomes, from all practical purposes, a secondary character? When he's outnumbered 5-1, 6-1, in the ragtag group. When Rafi Musiker has to have her lines, and the pilot has to have his lines, and the Romulan elf elf samurai warrior has to have his lines, and the doctor from the Cybernetics Institute has to have her lines. That all pushes Picard further and further off the screen, and literally off the screen from future screenshots we see of the series. So I just hope there's enough. And then 7 of 9 is going to come in at some point. Riker and Troy, although I don't think any of their scenes are going to be particularly long scenes. I think their cameos are relatively short, but there's going to be a lot. It's going to be more. I mean, I think this was the most we're ever going to see of Picard. Trek 9 says we need a Mama Prey story. Trek 95, I'm going to be honest, I don't think it's going to happen tonight. We will do one tomorrow. Today is not looking good. Today is not looking good. Joseph says, I think they've learned the lesson and will tune the disco agenda down. Well, we'll see. I hope so, but I'm not convinced. Cinnabon says, Bird of Prey, you were the third to say you liked it. I stream. Oh, okay. So I was the third person to say I liked it. Well, Nerdrotic streamed before me, and he said he gave it a 6 out of 10. So whether he said he liked it or not, the number he gave it clearly shows that he thought it was more positive than negative. So at best, I would say I'm the fourth person to say I liked it. Though Nerdrotic didn't seem to be willing to say specifically that he liked it, but he did give it an overall positive score. T-Berg says in Star Trek 6, they were worried about Klingons becoming the alien, well, the beggars of the galaxy. They actually said, Klingons will become the alien trash of the galaxy. In Picard, Romulans have become the Mexicans in the American Federation of Planets. You know, it's yet to be seen if that's true. I suspect it is, but it's really yet to be seen. T-Berg says Bird likes blondes. Aberjam donated $1, €1 or £1, excuse me. £1 sterling. Thank you so much, Aberjam, and no comment. T-Berg as for Bird likes blondes. Bird likes all the natural hair colors. Blonde, brunette, red, brownish, black, brownish, red, the dark auburn, anything like that. It's not really the biggest deal. Surf Tricktonic says the Romulan caregivers are former Tal Shiar that Admiral Picard granted asylum to. Actually, in the Countdown comics, he not only granted asylum to, he saved their lives. So, and yes, they are former Tal Shiar as well. Although they probably had to renounce the Tal Shiar because they're not allowed to marry, they're not allowed to be dating each other and remain Tal Shiar members. So they probably had to renounce their Tal Shiar membership. T-Berg says Bird must like Carol Marcus. Well, who doesn't like Carol Marcus in the JJ verse? She's a very attractive woman. Thomas's breaking news: Picard show is in the show Picard the most. Yes, Picard is in the new Picard show the most. Well, he is now. I don't think it's going to be that way going forward. T-Berg says breaking news: data recovery from a single positronic neuron. Never lose your best friend again. Listen, you have to watch Star Trek with a level of suspended disbelief, right? We all suspend disbelief that warp power is something, that transporters actually work, okay? That all aliens around the galaxy, for the most part, look like humans with some extra makeup on, and they can all, for the most part, talk, and a magic computer called a universal translator translates all the words for us, except at magic times when we prefer they don't. And then You know, if a Klingon wants to say something in Klingon, he just says it in Klingon and we hear it in Klingon. But when a Klingon says something in English, it's presumably translating from Klingon to English. You know, that's just levels of suspension of disbelief we all always have had since we started watching Star Trek. And being this guy had a theory that it was something on the quantum level that allowed you to literally quantum is the reason, which is hysterical because that's always the reason Anti-Tricker gives when you can't give a good reason. It's quantum. So his literal reason quoted is quantum for the reason why he can reconstruct the entire neural pathway of data using a single positron neuron. It's within my sphere of disbelief that I can do it without ruining the show for me. And I'll grant you it's on the edge, but it's there. It's there, and so I'm okay with it. I'm okay. T-Berg says the cheers is amazing. Good job. Wow. Yes. Yes, it is. Captain Cat says breaking news. Berto Praise 28 minutes into his live stream and 30 minutes behind on chat. Piano Dean says thank you. Track 95. Thank you. Aberdeen says thank you for the comment. Berto Praise. Most of the credit goes to Piano Dean. In all honesty, whoever it gets it, I'm sure you both do. It was great. Cinnabon, wow, for the stream only being on 28 minutes, somehow he's 3 hours behind. T-Berg had no expectations other than the hope to be entertained. Well, that's still an expectation. Continuing tracks with Bird of Prey. I've got to go to bed now, but I'll keep the stream running in the background. Good night, all. Thank you so much, Continuum Track. Good night, Continuum Track. Qapla, and have a good night. Joseph says, give Bird more likes. I like that. Give Bird more likes. Trek 95 says, Cinnabon takes social ability to that level far behind. Uncle Remus says, make it slow, number one. Captain Cat says, new track, good night. Yeah, everybody's saying good night. Actor says, second like added. Wow, we're only second like. Serve Tricktonics wants to know what the timestamp is for Waspinator to come into that Robert Meyer Burnett stream. I don't know, but I would imagine Waspinator will put up a video telling us when it is, assuming he knows about it. Thomas says, I would say something about Waspinator, but YouTube would ban me. John Araki just donated $1 through Super Chat. Thank you so much, John Araki. Qapla. We get Savick. Savic's not bad. Thomas says, I would say, yeah, I just read that. Aberjam says, what's a Waspinator? Sure, Aberjam. Hungarimus says, Picard is not a total train wreck, and I have feelings things will get worse when Picard goes to the background show. Exactly. Well, except I don't think it's a train wreck at all. I think it's a pretty good show, this first episode. But I do worry about what's going to happen when Picard is no longer the main character. And I know you say, well, it's called Star Trek Picard. He's always going to be the main character, but it's not how it works. Not when you have all these new actors coming in. Carlos says, Bird of Prey, I like Discovery, but it's not Star Trek. But Picard felt like a Star Trek film rather than a TV series. I think that's a good thing. Well, Carlo, again, it isn't going to be in my full review, but what I've said specifically is that Picard is not like any Star Trek we have ever gotten before. Every other previous Star Trek, including Deep Space Nine, and including Discovery, as much as I hate Discovery, has been, as I call it, where no man has gone before Trek. And that is to say that in every one of those shows, they are exploring. They are looking for new lives and new civilizations. They're looking for new ways of new aliens. They're looking for new ways of thinking. That's what they're going out there to do. They are exploring. Even in STD, but it has that they are, you're going to go someplace new almost every episode. And in Deep Space Nine, the new people came to them through the wormhole. And when they weren't coming through the wormhole to them, they were going out and finding them on runabouts until they got to Defiant. So, yes, that they all were where no man has gone before Trek. Picard is the first Star Trek we've gotten that is not where no man has gone before Trek. Picard is not going to be exploring strange new worlds. He's not going to be seeking out new life and new civilizations. And that's going to be a very basic tenet of the show that's going to be completely different. Picard Trek is going to be going out and kicking ass and taking names. And they're going to go out and they're going to try to change the galaxy, or at least the world, probably the galaxy. And they're going to try or die trying to do that. So that is a completely different place we are coming from for Star Trek. So it is not the Star Trek that, I would have expected. I dare say it's not the Star Trek I would have guessed I wanted. But this one episode, taken alone, it was compelling, it was interesting, and I don't care what you say that it was. I don't think it was made. It may have been made for normies, but I assure you, if you were a normie who didn't understand what Data's history was with Picard, if you didn't understand what the Romulan history was with the Federation, if you didn't understand, what Starfleet was and why they were in San Francisco, that show could not have been nearly as interesting to you. If you didn't know what a Borg cube was, that show must have been so sucky to you compared to somebody who knows what the hell is going on. Right? If you didn't know what all those things were in Picard's storage container, right? Then the only thing you would have done, if you were a normie and you'd never seen Star Trek before, Picard goes into a storage container and you'd say, oh, look at how cool that box is that opens itself, right? But if you knew what all those things were, the thing you cared least about was the box that opens itself. We were looking for the ships on the walls, the things attached to the walls, the batlets, the Klingon daggers, the Klingon dagger, all the other things. The Stargazer was there. The Captain Jot of the Enterprise E was there. Anti-Trekkers saw the Enterprise E and the D on the wall. I didn't even get to see those until he pointed them out to me. It was a treasure trove. It was a treasure trove for Trek fans. And they can say that this is made for normies, but if you were a normie, I doubt you could have enjoyed it. I mean, what was it? What was there for you? Not a hell of a lot. Tubian says, Bird of Prey, hello world, hello bird, hoil, Qapla Tubian. Not Ryan Johnson says, Waspinator had sent him an intro video to Burnett. He said it was part of Burnett community. I don't ever remember seeing him in chat. The clip's at the beginning of today's video. Interesting. Average is better than STD, but measles is better than bubonic plague. So, wow. Hector says, oh my. Kronos says, Qapla, bird of prey, mal prey, nerds of prey, minions of prey, cis of prey, alpacas of prey, massage therapists of prey, Frank and Freddy of prey. What did I miss? A lot. Hector says, sassy of prey. Yes. Kronos says, oh shit, I forgot about sassy. Son of a bitch. Piano Dean says, Bird of Prey, did you hear the song Averjam? And I did. The Cheers theme? Yes, it was amazing. I mentioned it earlier. You might not have been here yet. It was freaking amazing. Hats off to you guys. Hungry says, Bird of Prey, if they could clone Data, why not make a younger clone of Picard? So why not? Okay, well, I don't think cloning is the correct word to use for Data. What they did was make a copy of his positronic brain. I am still not sure how the brain gets into the girls. Okay? Some of it suggests that those girls were not born. They were not ever human babies. That their entire bodies were created in a lab and they were just given memories from I assume Bruce Maddox to make them seem like they'd grown up and had a real childhood. But I get the suspicion that didn't happen. So they were perhaps cloned. Their body was cloned, and then as they were developing, he added in the cybernetic parts. I'm not 100% sure. But to be honest, I don't think that's ever going to make a lot of sense. Because if they have a cybernetic brain or a cybernetic enhanced brain, surely that would have shown they would have had taken some medical test, right? Some routine medical diagnostic would have picked up on it. So these are going to be all, not only is the cybernetic implant a reality, but it's also able to do it via complete, being hidden from all modern medical technology. So, is Bird ranting? Yeah, a little. Cinnabon says Picard is the police. Aberjam says Piano, he was complimenting us a short while ago. Yes, I was. Guys, I gotta skip ahead here because I gotta end the stream very soon. Trek 95 says Lore Reloaded. Yeah, he was here, but I think he's since gone. Lore Reloaded, what do you want to learn about Jesus? I don't think Lore's still here, is he? I haven't seen him post in a while. Aberjam says Bird of Prey, Star Trek Picard was okay, but it found the first episode For All Mankind more compelling. That's the Women on the Moon one. Yeah, but For All Mankind is on Apple TV, so not going to be able to watch it. No, we're not doing Use Your Words. We're not doing Dear Bob. Chrono says it's data, not dater. Fair enough. Rock Solid is not streaming tonight. Tim Christ says, lol, I'm still here, but it will take more than you being 20 minutes late to get rid of me. Well, very cool, Tim Christ. Because I'm still 20 minutes behind. Holy F. Murdoch. Actors is anti-trigger trusting his back to Bird. Ah ha 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 ha. Wesley says I can never tell if I'm behind on the stream or if Bird is behind 20 minutes. I'm always 20 minutes behind, apparently. Ozzy says, Bird of Prey, I thought Picard was decent for the first episode. Yes, I thought it was actually very good. Very good for the first episode. And there was Aberjam Super Chat. Star Trek Theory, Qapla says 6 out of 10 equals 60%. That's a fail. I get it. Don't get me wrong. I get it that if you were going to school and you got a 60 on a test, at least in my day, that was a failing grade. Yes. Yeah, that's what Mamo Pray thought too. A 6 out of 10 is still a failing grade. However, on a scale of 1 to 10 on a movie or a TV show, I think it's a little different. But you know what? It's a fair assessment that if it's a 6 out of 10 on broadcast TV, it doesn't cost you a dime. Maybe that's something you still watch on a rainy day. But if it's behind a paywall that they expect you to pay $6 to $12 a month to watch, then yeah, you better have more than a 6 out of 10 if you think I'm going to pay you to watch that show. So absolutely, a 6 out of 10 is not going to be enough for me to pay out money to get a streaming series. I would need at least a 7 or 8 out of 10 to put out money to get a streaming series. So, assuming I wasn't reviewing it for YouTube, just as a plain regular guy. Piano Dean says, Bird of Prey, hey Bird, I know you've talked about it, but wanted to get your thoughts on Anti-Trigger's new theme song. Piano Dean, it is amazing. I'm amazed you guys were able to do that in just a few days. Like, you have it feels real. It feels so real. I mean, it's such a great song, except for the part about Piroga. It's amazing. And the fact that he can do it without getting copyright strike is even more amazing, because that's really the biggest concern I have. But, goddamn amazing piano, Dean. You should be very, very proud of yourself. Aberjam as well. Kennewick says Romulans would be more like gypsies or travelers, the PC correct term. I don't know. I don't think they're particularly like either gypsies or Mexicans. It's not quite the same. I mean, that's the problem when you have an alien species. Because Romulans have incredible technology and incredible, and maybe they've lost a lot of people, a lot of ships, but they were, for all practical purposes, just as advanced as the Federation. Kronos says, son of a bitch. Kennewick says, bald. I don't know. Yeah, you don't hear much about the Deltans. You don't hear much about the Zindi. There are so many species and planets we never hear about again. Star Trek Theory says they were seated. That's why they look like humans. Well, you see, that's what I'm saying. You have to suspend disbelief as to why all these aliens look like humans. Well, then why did the Cedar aliens look like humans? Okay, wherever your disbelief comes, you have to just suspend it to watch Star Trek. That is something every fan has to do. Kennewick says Deltans are bald at both ends. Wow. Wesley says, hit that like button, everyone. Kronos' bird hasn't even seen my welcome. That was an hour ago. Kinda. Yes. Well, welcome, Kronos. Edgar says, I thought it was because of quantum entanglement. Yeah, when they said it had to be done in twins, I also figured quantum entanglement was the most likely explanation they'd come up with. Kronos says, holy poop. Up to 35 viewers. Well, yeah, we were at one point. I've actually been north of 40 viewers on these types of streams, Kronos. Although, of course, they all pale in comparison to my Game of Thrones final episode of Season 8 stream that had over 2,200. Over 2,200 in the chat. And I was only like 3 months into live streaming on YouTube at the time. Freaking amazing. Chief Cook says, hey Bird, when are you doing another StreamYard? Chief, I actually canceled StreamYard because shit didn't work. And they were charging me $25 a month. However, there is a free version, so I can still do a StreamYard stream once or twice a month. I'm not sure when it's going to be though, Chief. I will, I'll let you know, but I'm not sure. I'm not sure. I'm sorry. I was on a StreamYard stream with Life with Matthew today. It went very well. Star Trek Theory says Christy Alley was hot at 350 pounds. Well, to be honest, I thought so too. Minecraft Bro says hello, Qapla Minecraft Bro. I hope you're doing well. Aberjam says there was a time I've taken a trip to Christie's Alley. Yeah. Kronos' bird is looking for stuff. Wesley's bird of prey, Swapinator from Beast Wars. He's a funny villain. Kronos' bird of prey, please make Mamo Prey tell a tale. You have the power. No! I'm gonna make Mamo Prey tell a tale. That's so wrong. We will do a tale tomorrow, Kronos. I am sorry, but we'll do a tale tomorrow. Cinnabons' bird of prey, do you think his cane is also a phaser? His cane has something on it. I don't know what it is, but it is kind of weird that it's got that metal piece. I don't know. It doesn't make sense it's a phaser. But I suspect it's gonna be something. No, though, they're not tired of Mamo Prey tales. It's just Not the best day. Mama Prey is tired. Actresses Mama Prey remaining tales are too embarrassing to be told. No, they're not that. There are some, but Crows' Wow Bird is way behind. I'm coming up. I'm 10 minutes behind. Wesley Bird of Prey, by the time you read this, it will be 23.98. Yeah. Yeah. Wesley's Bird of Prey. The twins remind me of synths from Fallout 4. I've never seen Fallout 4. Or played it, for that matter. John Street says, Kronos Bird is cheating. Oh, wait, it's Bird's given. That's Bird, that's a given. If by cheating you mean skipping comments that don't have @BirdO'Prey5, then yes. Because as it says in the post-it note in the top left of the chat, everybody should know to use @BirdO'Prey5 if they want me to read their comment. Kennewick says, Bird of Prey, did you see Worf cameo in the episode? I absolutely did, Kennewick. I was so happy to see him in original TNG makeup. Kronos says, Bird of Prey, this is not what I paid you for. Kronos, you paid me for a tale the other day and we got you a tale. We will do another tale on Friday. Star Trek Theory says, how much is of RSE doesn't have it? Yeah, the Ryman Star Empire. The thing is, this star wasn't a normal supernova. It was a mega supernova, which took out a good chunk of the Romulan Empire. And possibly all of it, but I think it was like 90%. There are still plenty of systems in the Romulan Star Empire, and I really don't believe that the Romulans ever needed the Federation's help to begin with. Because if you read the Countdown comics, they had 3, 4, possibly 5 years of notice before the star went nova. They had years of notice. This wasn't something that came up and they're like, oh shit, we need to evacuate the whole empire in 6 months. They had 5+ years knowing this was going to be a problem. So to me, it's ridiculous that Romulus would even ask for Federation help. And if you read the Countdown comic, even though they asked for help, they were not being helpful. They were doing everything they could to slow it down. They did not trust the Federation. Mr. Miles is Bird of Prey. I missed the stream up to here. Mind telling me, Mr. Miles, I really enjoyed the first episode of Picard. 8.5 out of 10. Full review coming out tonight, I hope. Kronos says, oh, I'll be not so there tomorrow. I'm sorry, Kronos. I'm sorry. Kronos is saying he's not going to be here tomorrow. Agreement says, Bird of Prey Kenobi series on Disney Plus officially put on hold. I saw that in the Geeks and Gamers email subscription as I was doing this chat. Well, that sucks. I mean, I know a lot of you guys are Star Wars fans. If I had Disney Plus, I'd probably, put it on pause until the Kenobi series comes out. Like, F that. I'm not going to just pay you for when I'm not watching any of your content. Crow says, Bird of Prey, wow, how much do tales cost? And never really said a price. No, there's no price. You donated, you were very generous, and you donated, and so we will help you.
Yes.
Okay, you know what? Here you go, Kronos.
Okay.
Here you go.
Hi, everyone. Especially you, Kronos. This is actually just a very short tale that is added to the casino tales I told. I forgot about 2 incidents that anyway. Anyone that works on a ship needs to be trained in safety. So I had already explained that on the casino boat there were 3 ships. And it doesn't matter what shift you work. if you didn't get out of there till 2 a.m, you had to be back every other Tuesday at 8 a.m. for a safety drill. Well, one time, and they gave you your post where you had to go and whatnot. So, and you had to be dressed in a certain way. Now, you couldn't have any open-toed shoes, no sandals. Now, this was Florida. It's hot. But you had to wear closed shoes and, no high heels, low heels, all that. So, one time, I'm up on the deck, and my position was to be by the life raft. That's sassy, please. Anyway,
Sassy's
1 second,
toy
guys.
went under the bed, and Sassy's afraid to get it. There she goes.
All right. How'd you do? So anyway, I'm by the life raft, and they decide this was the week that you're actually gonna test the life rafts. I am afraid of heights. I am deathly afraid of heights. I mean, I can't really take the first step on an escalator without going into complete panic mode. I have to hold on to the railing with 2 hands. So to just jump off the edge of the ship, down a slide, into a rubber raft, I figured somebody's going to have to push me. Or I'm going to have to hold on to the person in front of me. Except, my position was, I went first. Well, they started the drill, and they had 2 other positions where the rafts and the people jumped. And somehow or other they decided, well, that was enough of the test. It was taking longer than they expected, so they didn't have the rest of the rafts actually deploy. So I got out easy. The other time, sassy, please. The girl I was training, the one that I had mentioned, we were both sitting on the top deck, and the cruise ship passed, and the guy opened the window and his blinds and had absolutely no clothes on.
Buck naked.
Yes, but I said butt naked. Joey said buck. We looked it up. I'm sorry. Bird said buck. Anyway, it's supposed to be buck. But anyway, so this girl comes in, the same girl, and she's shaking her head. She had 2 children. Did I tell this one? I don't think so. Anyway, she had 2 children, and she's telling me that her 10-year-old son and his friends with the neighbor, and she was outside, and the neighbor passed, and the neighbor, he said whatever the kid's name was.
Kid's not allowed to be friends with you anymore? Yeah, you told that one.
I told that one?
Yeah.
That the mother thought that the woman worked overnight, so she had to be a prostitute, and wouldn't let her son play with this other woman's son. Unbelievable. So I guess if I told that one already, then that's it, I'm done.
Thank you, Mama Prey.
Okay,
I'm sure Kronos is very happy.
I hope so. I don't
got
know
some
why.
Mama Prey
but
time in. We'll try to get something for tomorrow.
yes,
We'll see.
I'll think of something.
Okay. Admiral Saval, thank you, Mama Prey. Admiral Saval says it was technically a hypernova. That makes sense. John Street says Bird of Prey Kuroga's like Star Trek. Everyone goes where no man has gone before. Well, unless you count she-males. Richie Bull says, how far we fallen? We have to type at Bird of Prey now to get notes. It's just a very unusual stream, Richie. I wasn't even going to be streaming today. And Anti-Tracker would normally be streaming this time, but we had to switch positions. Mr. Miles says, well, this will be interesting. Picard is going to create a divide. I don't think it's going to create a divide, Mr. Miles. Everybody's entitled to their opinion. You know, the Phantom Menace was people who didn't like The Last Jedi. And that was the only thing that really, you know, that was the only thing everybody agreed on. Right? I mean, if Rise of Skywalker didn't create a divide, Picard's not going to create a divide. I mean, it's just the way it is. Admiral Saval says it was a hypernova that took out the Romulan Star Empire home system and surrounding star systems, and a hypernova does technically travel in subspace, according to our theories here at the Vatican. Admiral Saval, do you live at the Vatican? That's amazing, if that's true. I don't understand how current theories could say that anything travels in subspace, because last I checked, subspace was an invention of Star Trek. But hey, I'm not in a position to argue. I'm just curious more than anything. It's not butt naked, although some people use butt naked. They do. It's butt naked. Kronos says Mamo Pray, bows to Mamo Pray. Thank you, Kronos. Thank you. Reggie Poole says Sassy gave Mamo Pray 10 barks out of 10. Oh, now it's 14 barks out of 10. Mr. Miles says Kronos, you said butt naked. The phaser is buck naked. The phrase is buck naked. We Googled it. Mamo Pray said butt naked. I said I always heard it called buck naked. So we Googled it, and buck naked is the appropriate phrase. But some people do call it. They acknowledged that a lot of people, not most, but enough people call it butt naked that they had to acknowledge that it was a common error. Kronos says, I don't care. I'm stubborn old man. Get off my lawn, Mr. Miles. Average says butt naked implies more sense to me. Who has a buck hanging out? Kronos says, at least I know my gender. Admiral Saval says, the Vatican Observatory. Very, very cool, Admiral. Very cool. Kronos says, Sassy is pissed. I know. I did not Google butts. I Googled a buck naked versus butt naked. And it came up. And not image search, just regular Google text. Admiral Saval says, I'm an understudy here at the observatory. Damn it, Admiral Saval, that is damn amazing. So you're in Italy right now. Well, you're in Vatican City, excuse me. Very, very cool. I had no idea. That's really cool. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for hanging out again. I do have to end the stream. I do have to keep working on my review. I'll be lucky if I get it out tonight. I probably already missed the Picard rush, but damn. Oh well. Well, it was really fun. It was really fun live streaming all day. It was really fun live streaming with Life with Matthew and Sci-Fi Nation and everybody who was on those streams with me. I do wish we could do that more, but wow. Thursdays are going to be busy days going forward. I can tell. Kronos says, Bird of Prey and Mount Prey, thank you for making me feel better. You are welcome, Kronos. 09A team, damn, missed it. Yeah, 09A team, sorry. Just headed out. Reggie Bulls, this stream should be retitled Bird of Prey, Butt Naked. No, I'm not retitling it that. So, see you guys later. I hope someone else streams later tonight, maybe. It'd be cool to listen in. Take care. And Qapla All. And yeah, there's not going to be ending credits tonight. Just going to end. You want to be where everyone can see Karoga go up in flame. Wow. Mr. Mouse is Bird of Prey. Another one is when people say half-assed or half-assed. Well, that's half-assed. I know that much. That much. Qapla, good night. Take care. Sassy says, Aroo!